Alright guys, if you're watching this on the playlist, you would normally think that this would be Xenoverse Live, Episode 4. However, I had previously streamed Xenoverse Live, Episode 4, and for whatever reason, OBS decided to just say no, and it just didn't record my audio for whatever reason. So I streamed an hour and a half, not knowing that there was absolutely no audio going to YouTube. So that's great on its own accord. So in order to make up for that, not having any audio on episode 4, what I'm deciding to do is having a post commentary of episode 4 in the playlist, and then the video after this will also be the episode 4 that I have previously done live, where there's no live stream. So this video will be first the playlist, and then the video without audio, in case you want to watch that for whatever reason, will be immediately after that, so you can just skip the video immediately after this if you just want to know what happens in the story of Xenoverse and everything that happens in the lock. So, I start the video off just by checking that the live stream is running. Of course, I can only check if the live stream is running in OBS Studio, or not OBS Studio. I can only check if the live stream is running in YouTube. It doesn't give me audio, so in the future, I guess I'm just gonna have the audio pulled up on my phone beforehand, so I can turn my phone to max volume and hear it playing. But I start the live stream, just checking everything out. We're about to get into the save file, and then it's about here. Okay, so here we start back where we left off at the end of episode 3, being stuck on the island after beating the first grass gym, and oh yeah, we lost to Daw in that battle, which is really sad. He will forever be missed. But also, we crashed on this island after the boat that was taking us to the next location was attacked by a group of Sharpedo. And during the live stream, I make this bit, which I guess I can use again. But I do this bit about, I'll use it again here. So what is going on, guys? We are crashed on this island. Our captain is crashed on this island somewhere. He's high on cocaine. This guy's trying to sell me blueberries for $50 a piece, because the guy's trying to sell me orange berries for 50 bucks a thing. And I don't know where my dad is. I've never known where my dad is. I have dad problems because we don't know where our dad is. It would have been so much better in the actual live stream, but you're gonna have to trust me here. So then when I'm done talking about the thing, we go into, we're doing a team recap here. I might as well play the video for this part. So we got Mr. Beeves, the Shuulong, Water and Dragon type. Next we have Walden, the Beedrill, a Bug and Poison type. You all know what a Beedrill is. Then we have Vincent, the Bidoof, who I didn't know this at the time of live streaming, but was only 3 levels away from evolving, which you'll see later is slightly important, and it would have made things later a lot easier if I just leveled him to level 15 and evolved him into a barrel. But yeah, we'll get into that. And then Florina here is also on the screen, the ghost ground type Sandy Gas with water compassion, which also comes in handy later. And then the last member on the team is Kenny, the Ghost Grass type. And then I also discuss a bit. So I mentioned in the previous live stream that I'm watching United Gamers live stream up to the point that I also play it. So like I watch him play, and he has a much bigger following than mine. So his chat like helps him play a little bit. And what his chat told him is that if you kill enough Phantoms in the first gym, there's like a 5% chance per Phantom for them to drop an item called an Elder Update. And what it does is it lets you evolve a Phantom into a Trevenant immediately, without trade. So, if I ever get the chance to go back to the first gym, that's immediately one of the things that I'm going to do, is try to get the Elder Update for Kenny, but we'll have to see about that. Okay, so we're just about getting ready to go up into the forest here. We're going to get our first encounter. I'm checking my Pokemon to see who I want in front. And I change it to... Actually, I keep Mr. Beeves in the front. Or nope, I think I want Vincent in the front. Yeah, I wanted Vincent in the front. Just because I knew whatever we were going to run into wasn't going to be super strong, probably. But we get our first encounter here, and it is a female Morlul. So I send out Vincent. Vincent goes for tackle here. And I think that does, yeah, just a little bit above half, but however, it does use absorb, so I can use tackle again. And he's got freeze right, but that's not important at this point. So then I get ready a Pokeball from the bag, or switch to Pokemon because I'm not good with but I switched to Beedrill, so this thing can't keep absorbing, is why I do that. That's right. And then I grab a Pokeball, throw one of 14 Pokeballs at it, and it should catch immediately if I remember correctly. 1, 2, 3. Yep, okay, we got it. So if we continue a little bit forward, everybody gains some experience from that. Mr. Beebs grows to level 14. Morlul's data is added to the Pokedex. It's a Grass Fairy type. And then I decide to nickname Morlul. Thinking about it here. Nickname Morlul, something that starts with a P, and then I go with Penelope, because it's a girl. So then I take the time to add Penelope to the layout here. Boop, on the layout, okay. And then I'm using the Oran Berries to heal up because we're on the island. And I think the only way to heal up is with Oran Berries. Of course, we find out later that there's a Porygon PC that you could pay $500 to heal up just once. But the Oran Berries are kind of cheaper at this point just because I don't need to heal up everybody. I just need to heal up like 10 HP. Then we get the Big Mushroom from Penelope. Can sell that later. And so basically what happens from here is that I buy more Oran Berries and some citrus berries, I think, just so I have enough healing items to go into the forest. I also sell some items to make sure I have more money. I started selling the TMs. You can't sell TMs in this game, as I found out. Then I gave everybody items. I gave Mr. Beast a Focus Band and Florina the Miracle Seed to increase the power of Florina's Grass-type moves. And I go into the grass, and I just continue to see what else is in the grass. There's like a Zubat, and then I think if I go, yeah, there's this new Pokemon called Nuzlocke, and I'm just kind of admiring it here for a bit, and of course wondering why the heck I couldn't have gone to Nuzlocke instead of a Penelope, but it's kind of whatever. I'm just kind of walking around in the grass, and I realize that I need to train a little bit. So then a good bit of the episode is just me talking to myself. We go up here, we get a repel. This is where the Porygon PC is. This is just north of the area that we were just getting encounters in. There's this ghost girl. I think I go up and talk to her because I thought she was a trainer at first. But no, she's just a ghost girl. So then we do some more exploring around the area. This is to the right of the Porygon PC here. I discover this kind of thing that needs a specific grass type to climb it. I don't know what Pokemon that's going to be used for yet. Go up and get a box, find a Pokeball. Another Nuzlocke. We can counter the Ghost Girl again, because I think she's going to fight me at some point, so I have to make sure that I have a Pokemon that can handle it in the front at all times. We countered the Ghost Girl. Get into a fight with some wild Zubats. Still in the wild parts here. Then find a Ghastly in the wild. Okay, now is where I have Mr. Beeson against this thing. So I go for Twister on the Nuzlocke, and it doesn't affect it because it's a fairy type. So at this point, I'm fearing for my life because Mr. Beeson is a dragon type. And I decided to quickly swap out. No, I decided to run away probably. But I figured this thing is a ghost and fairy type, so I figured out its typing. Which will be useful for dealing with Nunvols and maybe evolutions that look like a Nunvol later in the future. And then basically this is just me for probably about half an hour killing, or one-shotting Morluls, I guess I should say, with Beedrill's, or with Walden's Poison Sting, because we have like 35 Poison Stings, and I really wasn't like intending on keeping all of them until I got to like the next PC, or even if I found myself needing poisons things, I could always go back to the Porygon PC. So I'm just kind of murdering Morlols, and then the Morlols, some of them will drop tiny mushrooms and big mushrooms. So I realized that I could also sell those back to the guy, and kind of, yeah, see right there it drops a big mushroom from the Morlol. So I can sell those to the guy and make even more money. So it gave me more incentive to grind, basically. But later on, once Beedrill's poison sting is basically like down to 5. Yeah, this is a lot of money just killing Mortals here. So this, yeah, I sell everything, ready to move on. So, where's my team? Okay, yeah. So then I got Mr. Beebs up to level 15, I got Walnut up to level 15. I should have gotten Vincent up to level 15 because then he would have evolved. But it's kind of whatever. I think Florina was level 15, so she might have gained a level in between the big battle of this episode and the grinding. And then Kenny and Penelope just kind of exist. So then okay, yeah. I go up, so this is to the left of the Porygon PC, this area here. And it actually spanned into a lot of different areas, but if you go left from this area, which I think is what I'm about to... Yeah, if you go left in this area, down towards this area, it takes you kind of to the outer ring of the forest where it's raining. And there's the grass patch here and stuff. You get a repel. And then if you go... well, we're getting an encounter. Okay, so if you go down onto the beach, there's Staryu. Just a big beach area, really. I didn't want any of the statics because we already have Florina, so there's no point in getting a dupe static, really. I talk to Staryu. And then... yeah, I noticed the Lapras, and the Lapras is all... it'll say here in the dialogue, but it's the Lapras that has bite wounds all over its body. Do you want to try healing it using Diraxo's secret potion, which we all know is the cocaine. So we give the Lapras the secret potion. And then the Lapras feels all better. And then it says the Lapras wants to take you somewhere, or at least if I talk to it again, it would say that the Lapras wants to take you somewhere once it has a health back. And then I say no to it wanting to take me somewhere because I think that it's going to take me back to the mainland. And I say, well, I don't really want to go back to the mainland yet. I want to keep exploring the island. And then accidentally, I find a water stone because I'm running with Z. And in other Pokemon games, the run button is the spacebar. So I'm pressing Z to run up. And then I press the spacebar for whatever reason to, I think I want to run backwards. And then I accidentally get the water stone off the rock, which is pretty funny. But, yeah, so I think I go back into the forest just to see if there's anything else I want to get here. I counted the Ghost Girl a few times, discovered a couple of different areas. Mr. Beeves gets into the fight with a Ghastly where he hits himself a bunch. That was pretty nerve-wracking. Mr. Beeves lives, thankfully. Yeah, I'm just continuing to kill Morals here. So, oops. I guess that kind of spoils it, but we get on the Lapras, and the Lapras takes us back to the boat. Or the boat that got wrecked, the old SS Meteor. So we go up here. Fine, this is kind of like the rest area with the Porygon PC, and I think, oh, this is going to be some kind of boss battle somewhere on this ship. And I go, and I get our first encounter, which is a Zubat. So that's, yeah, that was great. Level 10 female Zubat. So I think Mr. Beeves just goes for Water Gun here. So we get it down, does a good bit. It goes for Absorb. Gets a good amount of its HP back. I try throwing a Pokeball. And 2, 3. And yeah, I think I struggled with this Zubat for a little bit, but we do end up catching the Zubat if I skip ahead a little bit here. Okay, nope, it wasn't that time. I'm pretty sure it took 3 balls. So, yep, there's the Zubat capture. And then, once we have the Zubat, if I zoom ahead here a little bit, Penelope wants to learn Mega Drain, so I can teach it over Absorb. So we got the Zubat, and originally I wanted to name the Zubat Spire, but Spire is kind of a boy-sounding name, so I decided to name it. I first, no. I decided to name it. Skip ahead a bit here. Spirette. Spirette is going to be the name instead of Spire. So Spire goes into the box because we have a full team right now. And then originally I wanted to get back on the Lapras. But, so I go up here and I go exploring a little bit. And just kind of carefully walking around. And then we go to... There's wild Grimers and Zubats on the boat. So we go to the lower part of the boat, and there's this door over here. We murdered this Zubat, so I'll just skip past it. I think Mr. Beebs hit himself in confusion a lot that battle, so I had to heal him up. But if we continue on just a little bit more... Okay, it says there's a strange presence behind this door. So I'm like, okay, fine, I'm gonna leave, maybe grind a little bit more. I wasn't really thinking much of it. I thought the door was just kind of like guarded off at the time. But then I try to go back to the Lapras here after finding through more wild encounters. And, well, no, I don't. I guess I go to the other room again for whatever reason. Go to the Porygon PC, realize that there's an item up here. Going for that item, but there's just so many wild encounters. Going for that trash can. Just it's inside there. There was nothing in the trash can. I remember that. I always remember the trash cans. And I'm like, okay, so I want to go back to the Lapras so it can take me back. And the Lapras does not take you back from this point. So I realized that the door, you probably have to walk in that door after you talk to it. So I go back to the door after even more battles. I think everybody's pretty much well healed up. And we go in the door, and there's this group of Sharpedo here. And if you notice, there's one Sharpedo in the middle that is not like the others. And it says, the one in the middle seems to be their leader. It's an X-Pokemon. It's clearly annoyed and threateningly gets closer. Sha. So it's another X-Pokemon battle with an X-Sharpedo. I have no idea what this thing's typing is at this point. And, yeah, we have Mr. Beebs in the front, if I remember correctly, starting off this battle. And to start things off, I'm playing things pretty carefully, I think. Of course, the game's a little bit slow. It says, bring it on, the boss Pokemon Sharpedo wants to battle. Of course, there'd be some epic music playing right now, but the music doesn't record when the audio doesn't record, which is good times all around, am I right? And this, the Delta Pokemon has its stats raised, so I go for Twister on this thing. It goes for Confuse Ray, because everything in this game knows Confuse Ray, and for some reason, Confuse Ray is absolutely busted when you hit yourself, so I get a Twister off, we do some damage. At this point, I'm wanting to either switch into another Pokemon, or, like, thinking that I can take an attack with something. So I'm kind of checking out the summary of every Pokemon. I don't know this thing's typing again. I think it's either a water ghost type or a completely different, like a fire ghost type, but we had the Elekid earlier, which is a fire type, so I was not counting on this thing being a fire type. And so eventually I make the decision, wait, I don't think at this point, I think it's only used Confuse Ray at this point. Or maybe it's, one of its moves is Phantom Force, which I know for a fact will instantly kill every member on our team. But then I realized that it doesn't instantly kill one of the members on our team, named Vincent, who is a normal type. So Vincent is immune to the Phantom Force. So I'll hurry ahead here. So Vincent comes out, it goes for Confuse Ray. Maybe it hadn't used Phantom Force and I was just going out to Vincent to do whatever to it. Man, Vincent was half an XP bar away from evolving. But, I think I go out to Vincent and then I go back into Mr. Beeps. Right? Yeah. Go back into this thing gets Aqua Jet, which is fine because we quad resist that. However, it still does a pretty good amount of damage. So I go for Twister again because I'm not confused. It goes for Phantom Force, which now at this point I'm freaking out because I know that that Phantom Force will kill any member. So I'm kind of looking at whatever member I think could take the Phantom Force, and I decide to go into Vincent. Yeah, it's the scenario I described from before. So Vincent comes out. Vincent takes the Phantom Force. It doesn't affect Vincent. So at this point, I've identified that this thing's moves are Confused Ray, Aqua Jet, and Phantom Force, I believe. So I think it still has another move left in the pocket. So I think that the best strategy right now is to go between Mr. Beebs and Vincent. So Mr. Beebs can take all of the Aqua Jets, and Vincent can take all of the Phantom Forces, and hasn't revealed what its fourth move is yet. So I don't know what kind of damage that move will be doing. However, this is like the most careful scenario. It's just switching between these two right now. So I don't deal damage to it for the longest time. I think this is the point where I decide that Vincent could take an attack from this thing. I don't know, maybe I switch back into Mr. Beebs here. Yeah, we switch back into Mr. Beebs, and I go out to Vincent thinking that Vincent could take one attack from this thing, one Aqua Jet, right? Because Mr. Beast keeps getting confused. It goes for Phantom Force, it doesn't affect Vincent. I keep Vincent in here, and I need to lower this thing's attack. So in case Vincent can't take an attack, it can, whatchamacallit, I use Growl on it, he uses Aqua Jet, and Vincent lives on 1. I thought Vincent was dead, for sure, and everybody else would die from there. Florina and Kenny would die to Phantom Force immediately. Walden might have been able to take a Phantom Force, but I don't know about it 100% because he's fully evolved. Penelope was not taking a Phantom Force, and I don't think Mr. Beast was taking a Phantom Force. So at this point, I'm kind of contemplating all of my life choices of having Vincent as 1%, but Vincent gets off the Growl, which lowers the attack stat. So everything in this battle is a lot easier to deal with. So I switch back into Mr. Beebs immediately. And we're going to do this dance again where either it uses Phantom Force or Aqua Jet on me. It goes for Confused Ray, which is fine. It's okay for Mr. Beast to be confused because I'll just be switching him back out. Then I decide that I know I have a Super Potion in my bag. And there's really no better time to use it than right now on Vincent. So I do that, I use the Super Potion on Vincent, and then from there, once Vincent's health is restored, it reveals its final move is Leer. So this thing has, to recap, Confuse Ray, Leer, Aqua Jet, and Phantom Force. And so, at some point during the battle, I realized that this thing can't touch me if I switch into Florina on either an Aqua Jet, Leer, or Confuse Ray turn. But I can't switch into a back end of a Phantom Force turn because it'll kill me. But I realized that because Florina has Water Compaction, this thing can't do damage to me outside of Confusion, as long as I switch between Florina and Vincent. But Mr. Beebs is hitting himself in Confusion, and that does a lot more than it would. Or a lot more than I would like it to be all honesty. So we're switching in between Vincent, and I figure Vincent can take a hit unless it's or another Aqua Jet in case it's a crit, because I growled it. It uses Phantom Force. I was switching it on a Phantom Force turn. So at some point in here, I realized the whole thing that I said about Florina. Yeah, I go into Florina, and I've realized that Florina has Absorb, so I can start hitting this thing, trying to take down its health bars. So Florina goes for Absorb. It does some damage. So we can just slowly start to chip away at this thing. Every time it uses Aqua Jet, it's raising our defense, so it means that we do less damage to ourselves in Confusion. However, we still do damage to ourselves in Confusion, which is a lot. But Florina, as long as I watch my health, switch between Vincent and Florina at the right times, we're not in any real threat here. I go back into Vincent here, so we keep going down the line. I chipped this thing down a little bit more. This thing is not enough health. Okay, so we have this amount of health here, right? And this is like... it's like this little bit of health right here is what it is. And then we go and absorb hits down to here. So you're thinking it's about here to here, and it looks like the Sharpedo could take another absorb just to get it down to that right amount of HP. It can't take an absorb, and it dies. I killed the Sharpedo accidentally with absorb. It's just I really couldn't do anything else. I didn't think that absorb was going to kill. I thought Santoon would kill. I thought Astonish would kill. I figured absorb wasn't stab, but I knew how much it was doing, so yeah, I guess that's my fault. But yeah, everybody gets kind of a level here, except for Vincent. Vincent doesn't get to 15 by the end of this, which is so sad. Okay, so I complete the Shark Attack, and all the other Sharpedo leave once I've defeated their leader. And then Taraxo comes back in, and he's like, "Hey, are you okay? Why are you in such a gloomy place? You told Taraxo about what happened? That explains Lapras at the entrance. To be honest, I was expecting an X-Pokemon behind all this. So I came here to see this through, but it seems you already solved it. Sailors tell these Pokemon are used to assault ships, making their... they make ships their dens, whatever. What did you say? Shouldn't I be under the sea? Well, I was on that ship too. If Alakazam didn't teleport all the crew in time, we would be feeding fishes now." So he's got an Alakazam, and it teleports us away from the ship. And so we get off of Darkhole Island, and we're now in Taraxo's house, I'm assuming. And yeah, at this point I'm being more sorry that I killed another X-Pokemon, but he recalls his Alakazam, so now we have some story stuff. You must be tired after the battle against Sharpedo. Let me heal your Pokemon. Dallas, welcome to my house in Polaris Town. I conduct all sorts of studies here, but I've got a certain fondness for technology. Do you know the storage system and Porygon centers, don't you? They're both my inventions. Alakazam's teleport has upset you, hasn't it? Feel free to take a stroll around here if it makes you feel better. I have some business to attend to, so I can't stay any longer. Make yourself at home. Bye-bye. Oh, and he also gives me the Pokemon Transfer, which I haven't really experimented with yet, but I think it's just an item so that Pokemon with trait evolutions can evolve. Like, you would use it with the Elder update if you had that, and then it would evolve Kenny into a Trevenant, and then he gives me a virtual update, which is the item to evolve a Porygon into Porygon 2. This is a nice catch. Try using one of those updates on Pokemon requiring to trade. Yeah. So a bunch of stuff happens from here. I check it out. I go outside the town. He says, "Oh, hey, Dallas, come here. This kid is looking for help." He asked me, but as I told you, I'm a bit busy at the moment. Could you please take care of it? I know for sure you'll make a great job. And this kid is like, "You're Dallas, right?" And Mr. Traxxas said that you'd help me. And he talks about how he's missing his Hikalu in the Zero Cave because some bad guys in suits took it away with force. Please, Dallas, find my Hikalu and bring it back to me safe and sound. And that's what we will be doing in episode 5, because this is about where I stopped the thing. And I got a Pokemon Center heal up, even though Traxxas already healed all my Pokemon. We have a team of 6 again at the end of the episode, plus Zubat in the PC, Spirette, and then right here I'm doing the outro, but I'm already kind of doing the outro, so yeah. There's some other things I need to talk about in episode 5, but I figured in this post-commentary I would talk about everything that happens in episode 4, and then explain everything that kind of went wrong after this happened in episode 5. There's some stuff that, yeah, I need to discuss over. But anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. This is the post commentary of Xenoverse Live, first playthrough, episode 4. If you don't want to watch the whole thing where my audio is bugged, the hour-and-a-half live stream itself, I'd recommend skipping the next video in the playlist. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in episode 5, hopefully. Thank you. Wait a minute. Hold on. The audio for this part of the game is recorded for some reason. That is so weird.